Horror can mean many things, but it takes a rare film to prove to be the scariest and most disturbing film of the year despite showing absolutely nothing graphic on screen. This is the only film I can think of that appears to have an 18 rating simply because the vibes are just so powerfully unpleasant throughout. While Longlegs, which is inarguably the biggest horror phenomena of the year, went for surreal and uncanny vibes, Red Room goes for gritty realism. And while I really enjoyed Longlegs, I have to say that if you like that, then you really need to check this out, as I can't remember the last time I left the cinema feeling so incredibly fucked up. Pascal Plante's intelligent direction creates a real unpleasant yet engaging atmosphere. Takes oftentimes go on for incredibly long periods, allowing the excellent acting to suck you in. The film's opening scene, for example, has the camera flow around the courtroom effortlessly as the prosecution and defense lay out their cases. This take probably goes on for around 15 minutes, and is both stylish while grounding the film in an uncomfortable level of realism. The film also features outstanding performances all around. Juliette Gayappi is incredibly believable in what is a rather tough leading role to pull off, while Laurie Babbins strips back her character, finding intense amounts of empathy within an outwardly off-putting character. With the scene where she's talking to the talk show host proving to be a moment of expert acting as well as pacing. There's a lot of care put into the makeup in the film too, from the unsettling face of Maxwell McCabe Loco's suspected mass murderer, to the naturalistic way Yappi's face morphs under the opaque glow of the computer screen. Marie Salvador is clearly an awards-worthy makeup department head. The protagonists in this aren't detectives on the case, rather they're obsessives who could be aptly described as femcels. They may be everyday looking people, but also they're detached from reality and live on the darkest corners of the internet. They're three-dimensional, not caricatures. The film never mocks them as pathetic, yet also doesn't wallow in pity, and this matter-of-factness contributes to the overall strength of the film. The movie also deals with issues surrounding technology and privacy in a similarly subtle manner. It's not bemoaning the fact that personal security is dead, it's not a moral panic, but it makes you think, and think in a reasonable and moderate way, about just how vulnerable we are living our lives so entirely technologically. This is a thoughtful character study, which leaves you questioning the main character's motivation. The central line in the film is her being asked, why is she here? There's a lot told through implication which I love, and this makes me want to go back and revisit the film relatively soon. But there are also times where you're questioning her not in the way that was intended, but rather going, okay, but actually why is she doing this? And this is probably the biggest weakness of the film. Finally, Dominique Plante's score definitely adds to the film's atmosphere. Well composed and transcendental, it's also packing a well-needed thuddy and discomforting punch. While the movie's sound design really shines through, it's not simply everything going on the computer screen, but also outside of it. It's all mixed very well, and I especially found the constant wind particularly off-putting in its intended manner, even before the film proudly points that aspect out to the audience. Red Rooms has proven to be one of the most impactful films of the year for me. It appears to have just sort of randomly been put out into UK cinemas, and the overall quality of filmmaking and powerful atmosphere definitely makes this worth seeking out. This may well make my top 10 of the year, and I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. If you're a horror fan, then please, this may be a very different type of horror movie, but you owe it to yourself to check this one out. So what did you think of Red Rooms, and what's the scariest film you've seen this year? As always, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider tipping me on Ko-Fi. The link is in the description, and also in the description is the link to my podcast, the Extreme Cinema Podcast, the first episode of the new season of which is out and is a deep dive on the new cut and the old cut of Caligula. Thank you so much for watching this video, please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.